I'm going to really have to get Ryan to keep that tune going in the background because I think that would just add the Fun Day Fridays. Welcome, everybody, to Sales Chat of the podcast, where we help 10,000 sales reps generate over $1 million GP in under 12 months. And today is Fun Day Friday. This week, we have, we talked about partnerships, collaboration, dedication, like the works, and hopefully you guys found huge value in it. Yet last week when we brought in customers and talked about asking for more money, how does that work in partnerships? And we've got some string of things coming for the next couple of weeks. But today is Fun Day Friday. So what we're going to do today is I am officially going to be the game show host instead of Ryan, because we still got some scheduling conflicts. So we have got two very special people. Of course, you know, the bodacious cowboy who I'm gonna make a call here, everybody. I bet you he's reading. Oh, there we go. The cowboy's reading again. There we go. And is that October's edition? What edition is that, Jeff?
No, I do have to keep my finger on the pulse every once in a while.
That's it. Exactly, brother. Exactly.
Sales chatter.
And today we have, I just really increased my screen there. Today we have a very special guest, a dear friend who is just vibrant and looking sharp, Nicole Glenn. Nicole, thank you so much for being here.
Hi,
back from vacation and ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
So today's sales chatter is, it's going to be a good one. So Nicole, what we do on Fridays is we ask random questions that'll hopefully thought-provoking and help the audience to really go, I didn't think of that. And so I had the privilege of picking these questions last night because normally Ryan hits Jeff and I with them. We're like, damn, that's a good question. So I got to admit, I kind of studied the question, so I know what I'm going to say.
You're in trouble.
That's the privilege of being the host.
You're right.
So we are going to kick it off with the first question. And then what we're going to do is, Jeff, we're going to allow ladies to go first on all the questions as we normally would. So the first question today is, what do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago?
Easy.
Go.
Well, my daughter is turning 18 and I have twin boys who are 14. And 5 years ago, I was 1 year into running my business. So what do you guys think I did?
You ran your business.
Right. So it would definitely be for me slowing down a little bit, knowing that everything was going to be okay. And I would have spent with my kids for sure.
Yeah. Yep. I think a lot of people would probably say that if they're 7, 8, 9 years into the industry. Because I think the industry swallows us up when we first get in it, right? And especially starting your own business.
Mm-hmm.
But I like what you said there, Nicole, where in the end, it would have been all right.
Yeah, I think we put these, I know I do, put these holy crap concepts on things that, I like make them up in my head. And so I think I definitely have at least, 10% more time for sure.
Yes. Been to a few more recitals, maybe a few more get-togethers, a few more school things. Is that what you mean, or more home time?
Or random ice cream, taking the kids.
There you go.
Like that, just being a little bit more present when you are there too, because you're tired. Logistics drains you. It's so fun to talk to people. One of my best friends eventually came into it. She goes, now I get why you don't like being on the phone all the time. Like, yeah, I'm on the phone all the time. So that's the name of the game, right, guys?
Yeah. You get home from work and you're like, I just don't want to talk to anyone. And then there's your family waiting to tell you all about their day and how many awesome things happened today. And it's like, and your brain's going nuts. Yeah, for sure. Yep. For sure. What about you, Jeff?
I'm with Nicole on this, but you know what? It was a bad habit since I got into this business, and it's just so hard to break away. And the only thing I taught my daughter to work hard. I mean, she knows that I work hard because that's all she sees me doing it. But did I spend as much time as a parent as I should have? No. And I'm honest about it. And that's what I try to help people out there. You got to put your family first, I've been with my wife for 43 years, and it's funny. that out of that 43 years, she said, we probably saw each other maybe 18 years of that, because I was always on the road. I was doing this, doing that, 14-hour days. You know, when you get into that grind and in that trenches for a long period of time, it's so difficult to pull yourself out of it. It really is. So I'm with Nicole on that. You know, I definitely missed out on a lot of things, not just the past 5 years because my daughter's older, but prior to that, disaster.
I think it's going to be a solid theme across the board with people. Same thing. I mean, which I guess you can direct it in the same approach. I wish I realized the power of designing your business around your life instead of your life around your business.
Amen.
Right. So same thing. I mean, just being able to, you know, one thing I don't regret very much in life, but I regret on my 10th wedding anniversary that I was at a company and I was a manager and I was running sales teams. And we've always said, my wife and I, that we're going to go to Rome for our 10th anniversary. Both of us want to stand in the Colosseum and just feel the power and, you know, just like feel that energy and that vibration and that power from how this place got built and kind of what used to happen. And Rome's always been one of those places where I'm dying to get to. And I allowed the company to tell me that I wasn't allowed to take 2 weeks vacation as a manager. And I never took my wife away. And to me, that's one thing I will regret in life. Probably the only thing I will regret in life. I think everything else has formed me to who I am today. And that's formed me as well. But that designing your life out, like your business around your life, and being able to do that as opposed to allowing us, and I think it's the same degree, just a different verbiage, I guess, allowing this business to take over us, or what we're perceiving to be like, if I do this now and a year from now, I'm going to have this. And it's probably, Nicole, for you very much because you have your own business, you're starting from scratch. And it's like, no, I have to put in the time now in order to make it this in a couple of years.
True.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't escape that mindset as it's happening. And it's only when you look back that you realize that, but because you're trying so hard to like keep that fuel of that fire going, and it is what it is. But at the same time, I think what it does do going forward future, you know, because I've really changed my step with my kids for quality time over quantity. So even on that I went to with, I just said, you know, I was in Aruba, you know, I had all my kids and it's like, we're going parasailing, we're going to the beach, and so that time and spending it together becomes more like intentional. And so I guess my future from that is different in a better way too. So
Yes.
Yeah.
More an experience that they'll remember and things they'll remember, right? Because material things come and go. You know, it's the experiences that we never forget, and the pictures when they show up in memories on our phones. Like, I think memories is one of the greatest things that our phones could have ever given us, because it brings us back. And it's like, wow, do you guys remember that? That was so much fun. And then you start rehashing it. So in 3 years from now, Nicole, or 2 years or 6 months, when those memories come up on your phone and you're with your children, or you're doing a family function, it's like, do you guys remember this and remember this? And oh my God, you were crazy.
It's all the time from when they were mom.
Yeah, you know, I think the issue is called detachment syndrome, and we all do that when we get so involved in our work. We can't separate and do that transition in a quick enough time, especially a young mom or even dad or anything. We kind of bring that work home with us because we're overthinking everything that we've done. What didn't work yesterday? What improved today? And we sure the hell don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. But we're constantly thinking about that, because when you have your own business, no matter how hard that you try to put it in the back of your head and focus on other things, it's always right there in front. Always, because you got those goals and objectives that need to be met, you know?
And we mask it with, we're doing it for the family.
Yeah.
Great answers. We got Ryan on the road today. What it do on the road to Niagara? Well, I hope you're not texting while you're on the road, buddy. But Hey, Jeff.
Where'd
Whoa.
you learn that from there, brother?
All right. You ready for number two? Number two. Let's go. This one's a good one. What is a belief that you hold which with many people disagree? See, Ryan, I did it, buddy. I stumped everybody. Here we go. Yeah.
I thought this is Fun Day Friday.
It is, but think about it for a second. How much fun are we having?
I think we think enough during the week. Now we got to overthink this.
Oh, yeah. What is a belief that you hold with which many people disagree?
We're not going political, so there we go.
No.
I agree with you.
No. Okay, so I have one.
Okay.
And I'll start it off, I guess, because I've had the privilege of reading these before, right a second ago. So I have a lot of people that I've spoken to that disagree with the power that comes with expressing gratitude every morning when you first get up. And they're like, well, I don't have time. I can't do it. And I said, well, be grateful for what you have. Even though you're going after something, be grateful for what you have. And gratitude to me, first thing in the morning, like the first thing you do, I come in first thing in the morning and I have my 5-minute gratitude journal that I write every morning, and it shapes my day. And I can tell you, when I was sick, I stopped doing it. And I started to get real sour on life and people because why did I get cancer? Why am I sick? Like, I started having those comments run through my head, and I started doing my gratitude journal, and everything turned around. My health turned around. I stopped being sick. The illnesses inside of me started to go away. And even today, when I tell people, like, come on, that's BS, you just kind of lived through it. And it's interesting when you start being grateful for what you have, no matter what it is. I mean, I'd lost 68 pounds. I felt like I was dying in a hospital bed, and I'm writing in my gratitude journal to get better. And I'm saying, I'm so happy for the health I have left. And I've had a lot of people that I've shared that with say, yeah, but like, there's rapists, there's murderers out there, and they're healthy, and you've done nothing wrong to people, and you're living like this. You got to be pissed off. And I'm like, no, the gratitude first thing in the morning changes your day. So for me, that would be one that, and I know there's a lot of people that agree with me, but a lot of people disagree about gratitude first thing in the morning. It's like, no, I need my coffee. I need nobody to talk to me. So I need to wake up and be in my own headspace. And it's like gratitude.
Yeah, I'm grateful to the guy upstairs that I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
So
what it would be something that you guys have a belief of to which many people or people you've spoken to in the past disagree?
I don't know if it's like a belief. It's more of something that I like to do that I notice a lot of people don't like to do. I like to get all the hard stuff done first. So when I'm like, let's just this, and then be done. A lot of people are like, well, we can do that then, or we can do this late. And I'm like, no. I want to tackle the biggest, baddest thing first, so I can have clear conscience of what I need to get done. I mean, it could be something simple, or it could be a big job, right? Yeah. I don't think people like challenge me and go, you're crazy. But I just noticed that it's not a common practice for a lot of people.
No. They want to achieve the small victories to warm up to the big victory,
right?
Or the small victories is procrastination to avoid the big challenge. Do you find that?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I would rather chop a large tree down than pull a weed out, because it's much harder, man. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, we're definitely on the same page, Nicole. I would rather go after the heavy duty stuff, and then at the end of the day, start picking that low-lying fruit for sure, because you're going to spend more time on the larger projects than you will on the smaller ones. So why not knock them out and get them off your desk?
It's a good one. Ryan says that Landstar is a good company. He's always harassing it. Stacy actually has a really good one that not everyone needs to go to college.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Stacy.
that's a good one.
Okay, hit us with a good one. You know, Stacy,
Yeah.
I'm a grade 9 dropout, and I was told that, and that was a paradigm that I held in my subconscious for so long. Like I was a loser. I couldn't amount to anything in life because I didn't go to college. And that when I was a kid, that's all it was. You go to college, you start for a company, you work for 30 years, you get this nice gold watch, you get a retirement plan. Like that was the dream when I was a kid, right? Ryan brings up one. He says, mine is you don't have to love logistics to make a career out of it. Interesting. Interesting. See, I think you have to be dedicated to it. But okay, so can we dive into this a bit? Because this
Yes, please do. Let's go.
so it's interesting because waking up every morning and not doing something you love would have to me would get on my nerves. You know, I think there's spots for it. Like if this is a long-term or a 3 to 5 year stepping stone for something else, I think you learn to love the pieces of it that you love. I think in logistics, especially if you're a broker, you need to learn that sometimes your name is going to get trashed by other people's actions. You know, and I think if you don't agree to that, you can hate the industry because I'm putting my name, like as a broker, it's all you're doing, right? You're putting your name on somebody else's desire to serve. But I love that, Ryan. What do you guys think of it?
I struggle with this one. I feel like I don't know. I think you have to. For me, I have to have that thing that I love. But I have come to learn, entrepreneur, that eventually you get out of. There's been spots of time where I'm actually feel like I'm out of logistics. Now I'm just a company owner, and so
Yeah.
that did change and transition, and I struggled when that started to happen because I feel like you still have to have that thing that pulls you to it, that makes it fun. Because I think that's what we need to
Yes.
remember in our work is you have fun doing it or have fun somewhere. Otherwise, it's like, what are you doing every day?
It's like
So
Wayne Dyer said, right? Like motivation is work. Motivation is you pushing a rock uphill. Inspiration is the rock has jets and it's pulling you uphill. Like when something inspires you and you wake up in the morning, it's like you wake up and you're like, let's go, let's do it. And if you had to wake up every morning and remotivate yourself to go to work, eventually you realize you're driving in the dark with no headlights. You know, so that's interesting. What do you think, Jeff?
Well, I didn't start out on the industry. My wife got me started in the industry back in 1980. So if I'm not motivated by now, being in it for over 40 years, I don't know. I love what I do because you know what? I'm in it for the challenge. I mean, because the logistics industry, you don't know, you're going to get blindsided every day. You don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, yesterday is gone. Today is today. Tomorrow's not promised. You don't know what's going to happen, but it changes every single day. You have to keep your finger on the pulse because of that. And I love it. I mean, I can't wait to get behind my desk every single morning because it's not a job, it's an adventure for me. You know, I have absolutely no plans on retiring. I don't know when that will happen because to me, it's not a job. I enjoy every single minute of it.
Well, I can tell you from the day I met you till today, you're way more inspired and motivated by the industry than I've ever seen you. And I believe every step you take towards your goal inspires you to take the other step. And all you got to do is take inch by inch, anything's a cinch, right? So that's I can tell you that, Jeff. I see that in your eyes. I see it in the way you present yourself and everything. So good for you.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm not a sales guy. I tell everybody.
Yeah, we know.
I mean, I
You don't
hate
make sales
brokers.
calls.
That's why I became one. I hate brokers because, you know, I dealt with them for all these years, and that's why I became one. You know, just to correct the wrong. You know, I mean, it's out there. It needs change.
All right. So this question is a super cool internal question, and this starts with the little conversations we have in our head. If you had a friend who spoke to you in the same way that you sometimes speak to yourself, how long would you allow this person to be your friend?
Mm.
Nicole, we will start with you.
Okay. Well, my biggest critic, as a lot of people are, it depends on how it's presented from my friend. Because I that we need transparency and sometimes get shook a little bit to like see things a little differently. But I am my biggest critic. So I think it would depend on the day, Dan, if I went, I don't like you today, but come visit tomorrow. Because that's part.
I hear that. I hear that. Yep. Yep.
I would assume that all three of us are on this mission to always be a better version
Yes.
the next day. And so sometimes it's hard to hear that stuff, right? But you have to be truthful to yourself on what it is. Now, it's easy to be really hard on yourself too. So I would say that it would depend on the day. There'd be some days that if that friend was calling, I'd hit the I am not picking up your call.
You hit the little button where you just kind of you don't push the ignore button, but you let it keep ringing so they just think you're not near the phone. Not that
Right.
I've ever done that before, but but yeah, or the can't talk right now instant message, right? I don't know how many times I've gotten that. I'm like, did you just hit ignore as a text that comes right after? Jeff, what's your answer for that, my friend?
True friends tell you what you don't want to hear. And that's what makes relationships stronger than any type of relationships out there, because they're going to tell you, when you're wrong. They're going to tell you when you're right. It's great to learn to agree to disagree, and that's what makes the best relationships out there. And it's funny, one of my old bosses, we didn't get along, but we agreed to disagree. But now he's working for me. So I mean, these are long-term business relationships, and we had our bumps in the road, but that's okay.
But this is about your internal. This isn't
Yeah,
about
yeah,
external.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
if
that's what
you
I'm saying.
had so you have those conversations with yourself internally, and
Sure.
then you actually like have that.
Like when you question yourself and what happened to you or what you did, and then you hear it from an outside source that relates the same type of message, then it's stuff that you need to hear, not just from yourself, but from others.
So I would probably immediately disown that friend, because if I look at and full transparency, if I look at the way my brain works, I come up with an idea. I'm like, this is a spectacular idea. Let's go for it. And you start really pushing towards that goal. Within a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, it starts going, you can't do that. You're a grade 9 dropout. You can't do that. You're this. You can't do that. You don't have that skill. You can't do that. You haven't learned that. You can't do that. You haven't learned that. And I think all our brains do this. I don't, even Tony Robbins says, I have the same thoughts you guys have. It happens. I just have to train my brain to say, forget it and move on. If I had a friend consistently telling me what I can't do in life instead of lifting as they climb and me lifting them as I climb, I wouldn't be around that friend very often, ever. And I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but I want to be around people that have goals, that have dreams, that have ambitions, that have desires, that wake up every morning and say, like Nicole said, how can I become a better version of myself today? And when I have those thoughts, because I have them, and I think we all have them if we're honest with each other, I'd get rid of that friend pretty quickly. Like to the point where I'd move high schools, I'd do whatever I had to do to get away from that
makes you stronger.
I don't have that. I can't do it. I promise. Like, I don't ever go, you can't do this. I have a lot of, do I want to do this? What would I have to do?
What happens if?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna, I don't know. I can't even give you an example off the top of my brain, but I know that I only know what I know. And so if I step into it, I don't go, you can't. Go, all right, how can I? What should I? And so I think that's where I might be a little different.
It's okay to question your abilities, though. I mean, internally, you know, as you probably heard this statement, you are your own worst enemy. And you can
100%.
be self-destructive, you know, when you start getting into that trench of self-doubt. But you always have to think about the alternatives. If I don't do this, why shouldn't I do this? I
Right.
can do this. So you're battling internally on the path that you should take. And there's only two paths, like Rico said, right? You know, you're either going to take the path that you're supposed to go down, or you're going to take the wrong path, and you're going to find out rather quickly if you made the right decision. So it's tough. It is definitely tough.
You know, the first time I met Bob Proctor, I asked him, I said, you know, how is it that, you know, you have 3 weeks in grade 7 and you dropped out and you became so famous? He said, Dan, I learned into who I am today. And he said, you know, I didn't know anything about business. I learned about business. I educated myself. I educated myself. I educated myself. And it was an eye-opening experience, because I think if we're going to be a better person tomorrow than we are today, we have to learn into it. And we're not the same person we're going to be in a year, because we haven't got that education to be that person yet. You know, Nicole, you're not the same person you were in the way you think than you were when you first started Candor.
Right.
Because you've been through a lot, right? You've been through all these different experiences. And I love this question, because you're right, Jeff. We are our own worst enemy. We're the ones that can talk ourselves out of the greatest thing that's ever happened to us very quickly, very quickly. And I actually am beginning to love having those conversations with myself, because I ask the same questions. Why?
Right.
What makes you think that? And I literally sit here and talk to myself, and I can't believe it. You do the same thing. Oh, thank the Lord you admitted that live with me.
Hey,
you're thinking,
most
there's going to be
intelligent
people showing up with a white coat for me to put on, like, you know, when after the show. But it's true. I have conversations with myself saying, okay, so you know what? Let's learn into this next phase, and let's become that person, and let's do it, and let's do it now.
And that's
You know, had a conversation with a gentleman yesterday, and he's like, I'm debating about calling CEOs on their cell phone. And I'm like, whoa. And he goes, I'm actually thinking of FaceTiming them. And I'm like, dude, go for it. He goes, no. I go, yeah, go for it. Go for it. Because why not? Why not? If it's their personal cell phone, yes, it's kind of like, you know, you got that. But he was like, dude, I did it, and it went spectacular, because nobody's doing it. So I think that's super cool. So shout out to you. I don't know if you want me to name you, so I won't name you just in case. But I think it's a great idea. So great answers, guys. Great answers. Okay.
Here comes a zinger.
Okay. Well, I'm just thinking. Okay. I'm gonna skip 2 here because of time, but I think this one will really, really help people watching, listening. And then if we get through this one, then I'll have one more zinger for you guys. But what are your top 5 personal values?
Well, I know my number 1 is integrity. Number 1, right? Because so much wraps up into that word.
Yes.
Also initiative, and I don't know if that's really a value, but I do put.
I'll take it as a value for sure.
Like that to me. I mean, you get the word grit under that. You get the word perseverance, resilience under that word. So that's big for me, and I know that integrity, you know, harnesses the word truth, but honest. I love the word veracity. So obviously, the company named Candor, so it's about being truthful and so be it. But I wanted to start a marketing company, and came up with the name. What's another truth? And it's veracity, and that is like living and walking through every side of the truth, and I love it. That idea. So I mean, there's 3. Jeff, what do you have for apps?
Yeah, I'm actually writing things down. But
so here, I'll show you this while Jeff's writing it down.
What we got?
Integrity, number 1.
Yep,
I wrote it down this morning. Open mind, presence, and enthusiasm. And you know, it's I was only able to come up with 4, and I literally picked these questions last night. I'm like, because integrity, it harnesses so many different, you know,
Right.
truth, honesty, like all of them I believe are incorporated in integrity. And then open mind, you know, an open mind to hear other people's plans, or be open to saying, hey, from trusted advisors, you know, take the company here, do this, try this, try this, try this, like an open mind to say, okay, well, why not? Like, why not? If somebody's not doing it, well, let's try it and maybe it'll work. Presence, you know, Brian Byro taught me this way early in my career, the being present. The past is history, the future is a mystery. The gift is now. That's why they call it the present. You know, when you're with somebody, be present with them, because for years I wasn't present. I wasn't present with my wife, my kids. I was at my job thinking of my wife and kids, and I was at home thinking about my job. You know, like the presence wasn't there. And then enthusiasm. I choose 3 words that I remind myself of every day: impactful, energetic, and enthusiastic. And those are 3 words I try and live every day by. You know, how can I create an impact? How can I create energy and be enthusiastic and energetic towards everybody that I speak with, and leave them better than when they got on the phone with me or something? So it's interesting, Nicole, that you had integrity as number 1, because that was my first one right away as well.
I think the word vulnerable would be a too, because
Mm.
I think that is something like even these last questions that Jeff answered, where it's like being your work critic, that openness when you need to get.
Yeah.
If you're not vulnerable, personal relationship with your friends, your parents, your children, people who are beyond you and their experiences, you're not going to grow. So I would say the big one.
We lost you on that last part, Nicole.
Oh, I was just saying, I think that word is just a big one.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yep.
think it is too. What do you have there, Jeff?
Definitely integrity, intuitive, disciplined, honest, and transparent.
Ooh, I like discipline.
Yeah, I like discipline too. That's a good one. Ryan says charity, clarity, worthy of God, humble, vulnerable. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's good. Okay, you guys want to do one more? I know we're 5 minutes later, but
Let's
want
go.
to do one more?
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
do it.
Let's do this.
All right, so
Oh, this is a big one.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. We should have.
okay, let's do this. Let's do this one, because this one I think is a very I think this one's a really good one. If you could instill one piece of advice in a newborn baby's mind, what advice would you give?
One, love everyone.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Be the change that everyone is looking forward to.
Be the change.
I love that. I would say, what you do screams so loud I can't hear a word you say.
You love that saying.
I love that saying.
Say
You know
it
what?
Love that saying. You love it.
What's that, Nicole?
Say it again.
What you do screams so loud I can't hear a word you say. So that's a quote from Emerson back in 1902. And I had that quote above my door of my office. And it resonates with me, because when I first got into sales, I was that sales guy that, like, oh, I got like 9 accounts on the go, and yeah, we're gonna close them all, and we're gonna and like I literally had probably just quoted them, so I had no idea. And then I realized pretty quickly it's not what we say, it's what we do. And it's you know, we can give all the advice we want on this show. If we hit end and go and sleep all day instead of making sales calls, or not tackle those big challenges, Nicole, or say we operate with integrity and then go and undermine somebody, or we operate with an open mind, and somebody says, hey, what about doing this? No, you don't know what you're talking about. Or somebody says, hey, can I have like 2 minutes of time? I really need to talk. And I'm like, yeah, sure. What's up? You know, yeah, okay. Yeah. What was that again? Sorry. You know, like what we do in our day-to-day lives screams so loud you can't hear a word. We can't hear a word you say.
Yeah.
And it's those actions
Yes.
that create our reality, right? Dreams plus actions equal reality. And I don't know, for me, like Jeff said, I love that quote. I have it everywhere. I have it in my pocket every day. I say it to myself 50 times a day, because to me, it's all about that action. And if I want to say I operate with integrity is my number one personal value, I better damn well operate with integrity. You know, and I'm sure you guys have. I know I've been a part of many business deals where you think integrity is involved, and it's like, nope. You find out in the end it ain't, and it's sad, really. I mean, I'm still, and I know a lot of people are going to say, Deigan, you're crazy in this stage, but I'm still a guy that I'll do a multi-million-dollar deal on a handshake. And, you know, like, that's just me. That's my core values, is when I say, yes, let's do it, it's done. Signed, sealed, delivered. You can bet everything on it. It's like when I quit drinking. I said, you can bet the farm that another stitch of alcohol will never be in this body, ever. And it won't. And to me, that's an action, right? And then, I don't know, I just feel, especially with children, you know, like one of the biggest things for me when I think about what you do, scream so loud I can't hear a word you say, is you say to your children, you know, don't talk to strangers. And then we go walking down the street. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? And I remember my kids going, you know, you tell us not to talk to strangers, but you say hello to everybody. I go, well, I'm a friendly person. And my daughter's like, well, I'm a friendly person, Dad. I'm like, yeah, but you're not allowed to talk to any of these people, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so you know what I'm saying? So it's like that.
Oh, network.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I mean, if seriously, you have to live by the words you speak. Yeah. So if you say you're going to do something, say what you do and do what you say. Mm-hmm. So if you commit, do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. We got Anthony. Oh, Anthony, here we go. The CEOs might just understand your position given the chance to speak. I remember that forever now, 96.8% were salespeople at some point. You got that right, brother. You got that right.
Inception.
Yes, maybe. That was awesome, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Anybody have any closing points they want to make before we jettison for the day? I'm thinking meet now.
Just be you and don't try to be them.
Love that. Nicole. Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, right. I want it.
Do something this weekend that's a little audacious for yourself.
Love that.
Figure out what I haven't done.
Yeah, I love that. I'm actually going to take that advice. And then let's check in Monday for all y'all. What are you going to do this weekend that's audacious that you haven't done? And then let us know on Monday's Sales Chatter. That'll be awesome. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Remember, as Ryan always says, go out there and share this episode if you found any value in it, which we know you did. Share it with the UPS or Amazon driver that we know y'all got coming today, because it's just before the weekend, so y'all ordered your goods. This is Sales Chatter Live. You can join us, and I'm going to be flipping down like the DJ, the host, the producer, all in one today. This is crazy. Join us on LinkedIn, on our LinkedIn Sales Chatter channel on LinkedIn. Go over to YouTube and subscribe there, because they have better stuff. Go to Sales Chatter Live, download all sorts of tools and cool things for y'all to use for your sales. And again, we are looking to get 10,000 sales reps generating over $1 million GP in under 12 months. That's the mission of this show, and this is the information we bring you. Until next time, y'all, have a great weekend.
Great weekend, folks.